Welcome back to Gemstone Podcast. This is LP. I have Sean Zack with me today. Before we get started, do a few things for us. Make sure you go like and share our podcast as we're on various platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Anchor, Amazon Podcasts, and also Pandora Podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. We will be dropping a visual. Okay, guys, we have officially went to a studio and did a physical recording of Gemstone Podcast. So be on the lookout for reels and also when we officially drop our visual recorded segment. Now, a quick announcement. I will be a panelist for a event that be hosted virtually by the National Association of Health Service Executives. That is May 28th. It is called Healing While Leading Mental Health Strategies for Healthcare Professionals. I'm one of the panelists. My subject that I will be discussing is psychological equity, how you actually employ or develop psychological safety within your individualized leadership. You can go to Eventbrite, purchase your ticket. Your ticket should be around $12 to $13. Look out for more information as I will be hosting at my very own Lunch and Learn in Juneteenth for a leadership workshop as well. All right, guys. How you guys doing?
It's all good in the hood, baby. It's all good in the hood. We back for another episode. We hope y'all enjoy this episode. We're gonna get a little vent off. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of venting probably this episode. But we hope you enjoy it.
I am well. I'm feeling well. Blessed, highly favored, cannot complain.
When that man is back, Drizzy Drake Rogers, too busy to play father.
Yeah, I thought he dropped a few albums.
Man is back.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't really been on the rap scene for a minute as far as listening to like rap music in a while.
Right, he
Yeah,
got a R&B song album for you too called Habati.
yeah, I might have to jump on that, see what it's about. But I ain't really too much been listening to that in a while. But one thing I want to discuss, let's just jump in the topic. Let's not waste no time today. Let's jump into topics today.
He been waiting on this one. He been
But I'm
waiting on
feeling
this.
good. I'm feeling good. Okay. All right. So lately,
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of conversation surrounding Cheyenne Bryant, no doctor, due to questions about her credentialing. And a lot of questions have came up. I mean, she was on the Breakfast Club. She was asked about her transcripts and her degree as far as having the asterisk of doctor. And also, there's been a lot of conversation and a lot of roundtable conversation around this credentialing period surrounding subject matter experts or doctoral or Psych D or a PhD or EDD degrees. Now, one thing that I found interesting is that the conversation kind of pivoted from her credentials to now like an expert in the culture. And then also they tagged, if I'm not mistaken, mental health influencer as far as saying, well, she's amassed this following and has amassed this quote unquote group that follows her and that finds her to be a mental health influence or influencer surrounding relationships and surrounding mental health. But she's got a lot of public scrutiny lately about her academic credentials. And, I don't mean to laugh, but she did come off when she was on the Breakfast Club and she got very, I wouldn't say hostile, but her verbiage she took it there just because I feel like, and this is me speaking transparently of my opinion, as this is a podcast, as we give our opinions. I want to say that to our listeners. So anything I'm saying is not like it's signed, sealed, proven. This is all opinion based and all this roundtable conversation. But she kind of took it there. And we've had a lot of conversation on Gemstone podcast surrounding Cheyenne Bryant. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the first time we brought her up was when she did her podcast with Cam Newton. And I believe that was on his Funky Friday segment. And I gave my 2 cents then, and we've had some other conversations about her since then. I think maybe one or two more. But still, we've had some conversations about Cheyenne Brown. Now, today what I want to discuss is I don't really want to. I want to bash her because I feel like that's what a lot of podcasts are doing. A lot of social media sites or media sites are doing right now. They're bashing her. I kind of just want to just talk about the mind frame that you guys have, or the mind frame, or just kind of put this conversation into some type of framework about her having the title Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, which I believe now is a stage name. That's my opinion. But when it comes to actual academic credibility and when it comes to actual providing the proof of being a doctor, it's been a lot of turbulence behind that. But outside of that, how does this truly impact our culture as Black men, Black women, when it comes to really having a voice to pioneer change by way of having a subject matter asterisk attached to your name? And I also want to bring in the conversation. Well, I'll save that for later. But that's my question for right now. Like, how does this narrative that's been depicted or being depicted currently about Cheyenne Bryant, how does that impact our culture as Black people?
Well, I will chime in. So I first discovered Dr. Bryant when she was on Teen Mom, probably about maybe 10 or 15 years ago. She was the life coach at that time. She was also on another show too. I don't know if it was Bad Girls Club or it was something on the OWN network, one of them other shows. 10 or 15 years ago. And at that time, she was going by Coach B, Coach Bryant. You know, which she was depicting herself as a life coach. So throughout these years, from what the photos I've seen of her, it seems as though she has not proven that she has a doctorate degree. It doesn't seem like she's proven that, but she seems like she does have an honorary doctorate. So I believe that somewhere between the last 10 to 15 years since she's been a life coach, somebody in school, because I saw a few photos of her, it was her and some more people in a photo, and they had their cap and gowns on, and they had diplomas in their hand. So it seems like she was awarded an honorary doctorate degree in psychology. So it seems like over the last 10 to 15 years, she must have adapted the name doctor because she was honored as an honorary doctorate in psychology. So I think that's where she started to brand herself as DR. I know someone personally, someone I know right now who has an honorary doctorate, and she has changed her name on all social media to Dr. So and so. So, I mean, if you achieve an honorary doctorate, you can go by the DR name if you choose to. So that's what it seems to me. It seems like that's where she adapted that name from. Secondly, I don't feel like I definitely think that she is a money grab, not gonna lie. Still, I like her content. I like some of her teachings, but I can definitely see that she picked up on that she can make money off of social media, reality TV, because she been on reality TV for years. She was on Basketball Wives too, can you think about it? So I follow it. This lady been around a long time. She was in a B2K music video, B2K Gots to Be. She was the girl, y'all. She was the girl in the basket that was in their room. That was her. So she's been around the scene, Hollywood music industry for at least 25 years. So I feel like she adapted that name through her, probably through her network and, her getting an honorary doctorate degree in psychology. I do believe she has a master's degree, but I don't for right now, I don't believe she has a doctorate degree from a public institution. But she definitely has a honorary doctorate degree in psychology, and hence the why she can call herself Dr. Bryant. I feel like, she's gained notoriety on social media. This is Cam Newton wasn't her first interview, but that interview went viral at this time. But she's been on reality TV and been on different podcasts and panels for years. Like I said, she first appeared on, to my knowledge, was on Teen Mom. And Teen Mom came out when I was in high school. So that's at least 12 to 15 years ago when Teen Mom came out. So she's been around for a long time, but I honestly don't quite get the scrutiny for her. I feel like a lot of people was looking for a reason to dislike her because she's gaining too much attention. She's also an attractive woman, and she also says a lot of things that are really tapping into broken homes, misogyny, things like that that she talks about a lot has rubbed a lot of people wrong. That's rubbed people the wrong way because it's true. And I feel like people are looking for a reason to discredit her, even though we don't discredit Dr. Phil. He's not a real doctor. We don't discredit Iyanla Van Zandt. Dr. Iyanla Van Zandt is not a real doctor. I don't think Iyanla Van Zandt even has a degree, period. She's a life coach just like Dr. Brian is. So a lot of these people that have TV shows or on big platforms, on panels, things like that, are not doctors. Today, I went to a conference called Black Women Invest. It was an investment conference. It was real estate. It was stock marketing, crypto. It was a whole finance conference. And at least two of the panel women there were Dr. So-and-so. And when I went and looked these ladies up, I could not find a single graduation picture. Okay? I cannot tell you how many people in the tech industry, which I work in, that are called Dr. So and so. The old company I work for, the girl who owns the company, she's a young girl. She from Dallas. She's like 27. She's a multi-million dollar tax company owner. And her name is Dr. So and so. And this girl has never been to college. So I just feel like let Dr. Brian do her thing. I mean, does it shift the culture? No. Are we looking toward the people, especially media personalities like she is? Because technically she's making her money from the media. She's doing all these tours and all these panels. Are we truly, have we gotten so low as a society that we have to look to media personalities for answers? So, no, that's my take on it.
I'm gonna give y'all two some fact checks, and I'm gonna let y'all go back at it with these. So, one, it is acclaimed, as we all heard from the video when she was on the Breakfast Club, that she did have her doctorate at Argosy University. That university was shut down in 2019. The U.S. Department of Education stated they were cutting off the federal funding, and as she said that she couldn't get her doctors because that school is no longer allowed. I mean, no longer open. It is permanently closed right now. So, I mean, she did say that she got rid she wait, should I correct me or Lynn, correct me wrong? In the clip, it does say that they asked her if she wanted to get her refund back for her doctor's degree or did she want to keep it, right?
When I looked at the clip, what she said was that she was trying to get her transcripts. And she said she completed it. She said, and then that she had reached her statutes of limit. Her like I guess her statutes of limitation because they only held records for 2 years, and she exacerbated at that particular time. Her time to reach back out to those who were gatekeeping the records at that particular time for I think believe the university that we were talking about was
Argosy.
Augusta University. And she said that she went back and forth with whoever was
Financial aid.
governing that particular thing, and they told her, "Well, y'all can," because she amassed, I guess, financial aid and a debt for that. And they said, "Well, you do you want a refund for this? You just want to just hold on to it." That's what she said. She said that. Nobody else said that. That came from her.
Yeah, I heard that.
I kind of found that to be kind of outlandish, but I'm gonna let you go.
I mean, myself, I can't explain it because I ain't never been with a school that shut down permanently. So I don't know how that would work getting your records, to be honest with you. That probably would be something that's hard to get
I
because
mean,
you
you
have to have
still
the
should be able
transcript.
to, though.
How though? There's no record. There's no
So let me jump in real quick. Let me jump in. So let me touch on that first, Zach. So I actually went to a school. You know, when I was had to leave WTC due to delinquent behavior at that particular time, I was kicked off campus in Western Texas College. I went to a college, another junior college named Lon Morris College. It was in East Texas in Jacksonville, Texas. That school shut down. Lon Morris College is no longer a thing, and so the state of Texas actually houses those records from when you graduate. So that's what's not adding up to me when she said they don't have no, they house your records. Whatever state that governs that institution or they had accreditation with now takes upon those records and now they hold them. You just have to pay them to get your records back.
now.
So
Can I
that
ask you a
wouldn't make
question?
sense to me.
What kind of school was that? Was it a private for profit university or was it like a state university?
No, it was a junior college and it was private. Like
Her or him.
His school.
hit me. You talking about me? Mom Morris was a junior college. You know, it had sports. I believe it was a private institution. I could be wrong though. I can't remember so long ago.
Would it be
But
different?
I know we had direct linkage to the church because we used to have to go to if you got in trouble, you had to go to like you know your punishment was to go to
The chapel?
service chapel. Yeah.
So, would it be different if it was a private for profit university?
I would have to research that, but I don't think it would be. I believe if it was a private for profit university, which means like it's like a private equity institution, if
Yeah.
I'm hearing it here correctly, I still believe that because they have to have some type of link to accreditation. It all goes back to accreditation. Like no higher education institution can function without having an accredited body to give them accreditation to be able to award these degrees. So whoever had the accreditation over that particular institution would have to govern those records. And it wouldn't be no statutes of limitations on how long they keep them. They will keep them for however long we all live or whatever. And that's the same thing that happened with Lon Morris College. Records are still kept by the state of Texas. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the junior. I ain't gonna say the acronym because I'm gonna jack it all up. But it's whoever accredits junior colleges that's a part of the NJCCA. With a part of that because you have to be some type of accredited institution to have your sports teams participate in that particular sports. I guess I wouldn't say league or whatever. Let's just say league for better words. So yeah, so that's what made me feel like, well, what are you talking about? Because that's not making sense. And then another thing, she got an honorary degree this last year. It's from Harvard Christian University Royal School. In 2025, she received the honorary doctorate of recognition.
I got you right here. Here's your answers for it. I just Googled it for you. When a private profit university shuts down, it cannot simply abandon or lock away students' records. Federal
Okay.
regulations and state education boards require failing institutes to surrender all academic transcripts. Your records will permanently exist through though they are usually transferred to an official state repository or digital clearinghouse.
Okay, so I was right. That's what I was thinking, and I didn't even look it up. I'm just thinking of accreditation processes. If you're an accredited, used to because you have to be accredited to be a higher education institution to award these degrees and award these programs, even to have grant funded based programs or grant funded degree programs. So therefore, if you're shut down, they begin to amass and take on your records, and they keep them. This is not no limited time. So I felt like when she said that, she was lying then. But she did get an honorary degree in 2025. The one thing I want to say when even if they did shut down, if you got a dissertation, let me tell you, there's this thing called ProQuest. Cause I wrote a dissertation. When you write your dissertation, it is published because now it's published research for others to use to add to whatever your research was. Because when you do a research study, you had to look for somebody else's research study or research studies to then build on what their gap was, which means lack thereof. So therefore, when they have to publish yours, so someone can build on yours. And it just keeps going on and on like that as eons and time goes on. So for her to say I earned a doctorate, I was like, well, did she get a Psych D? Or she did a PhD or EDD, would have to write a dissertation and therefore to be published. It's a published article. And you actually get royalties when someone looks up or cites you anytime in any type of publication because that's your published work. I know she's written several books, but
So it should be a paper trail, what you're saying.
an extensive paper trail. Like right now, you guys can look up, like type me in on Google, type of Lance Parker dissertation or Lance Parker of COVID-19 frontline healthcare professionals. My dissertation should pop up from ProQuest because it's a published article. And also the other articles I've written, they're published. That's considered published artifacts that I have now that's like in the internet contributing to scholarly development of scholarly work. But when I listened to her on Cam Newton's podcast them years ago, I felt like when she was saying, I'm Dr. Brown, I was like, man, there's no way because how she was speaking. Because even using the term broken home, if you have the subject matter knowledge of anything surrounding behavioral health or mental health, you know you don't say that to any visual or any man who has multiple children from multiple women because that's going to tear them down psychologically. From a psychological aspect, you have to use the word displaced homes. Like when me and you guys were speaking offline one time, and I was like, "No, you gotta use displaced homes."
Why does she have to
Uh,
protect his feelings though?
this is the thing.
He
No, but
didn't seem
no.
like he was bothered
But
by the statement. He went and made another broker home right after that.
But this is the thing, though. I'm not saying that she had to protect his feelings, though. I'm saying as a subject matter expert or a clinician, you learn how to speak without using derogatory jargon. She didn't do. So that made me question it way back when. Like, is she really a doctor? Because the way she's speaking to him doesn't show me that she's a doctor. Because when you're a clinician I shouldn't say clinician. Let me stay away from that term. When you're an individual who has subject matter expertise knowledge, you think of all possibilities. So, like we were saying last time about leadership, and you was telling us about the lady who they kind of plotted on her a little bit. It kind of seemed like they had some against women at that organization. When I said these stakeholders don't think about some of the things they say and do, what happens if somebody want to come in there with a baseball bat and start tearing up all the damn computers or start hitting people upside the head or drive their vehicle in the building, which I've seen some of those things. It's because from a subject matter expert lens, you think about that. So you think about how you speak and how you respond to somebody due to you want to protect those around you and also protect them from a psychological, mental aspect. That's what I'm saying. Like when she was saying, "Well, I'm a doctor in psychology," I was like, man, I don't know, because the way she's doing, the way she's talking, is there's no safeguards in any of her approach. She has no
No.
safeguards. It's just raw, filtered, and uncut, which is fine. Say my issue with it is the reason why I feel like it does a disdain toward the black culture, from my personal opinion, is because you got an honorary doctoral degree. Cool. I rock with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You got that in 2025. You've been saying Dr. Brown before 2025. And my other thing is how it makes us
Maybe
look
she's
at.
speaking into existence, brother.
Yeah, okay. Uh My thing is, when it comes to us as black people, it's already hard for black individuals when it comes to, especially when it comes to the field of mental health, to have a equitable seat, to have a sustainable conversation around advancing the narrative around our people. And some of the things she says, I do agree with. And some of the things I don't agree with. I don't agree with her approach, but her overall monologue and her overall message, I believe in it, but I don't believe in her approach at all. And I always said, my thing is her approach and the way she does it, it makes the black and brown people look bad. And this just makes it look even worse because now it comes out that you have this roundabout story about having a doctoral degree, of earning a doctoral degree by way of doing the school academic work at an institution, when that's not the truth. If you would just came out and said, I'm going to get this honorary degree, I believe she'd have got more respect. Like I said, I don't want to beat her down because I believe a lot of the media sites are already beating her down. I just wish she picked a better path in how she did this. I know she got a new book coming out. Hopefully her book sales does really well. She did a great podcast with Tim Ross not too long ago at the basement. I watched the whole thing. It was actually clutch. But I like Tim Ross a lot. So I could be biased. But I just wish she would have took a different approach and how all this has now, like, people are digging through the weeds and finding out what's happening. And she's a life coach at that. She's not a licensed clinician at that. When it comes to people who practice mental health, they normally have to be you have a licensure. You have a license credential. You have an MPI number. And you also go through a process where you take a test. You have so many times you can fail it before you gotta either wait a couple years or you gotta go back to school or whatever it may be to be deemed it. And then you also go through clinical hours where some of these individuals work for pennies and nickels for 500 hours, 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours, whatever it may be, to actually earn a full licensure to actually speak about some of these mental health modalities. That's why I tell people, they say, well, Dr. Parker, you have a doctorate in behavior or organizational leadership with a focus around behavioral health. I say, yeah, but I'm not a clinician. I may have took all the Psych D courses in that actual program. I say, but my expertise matter in by way of best implementing best practices around mental health, not diagnosing. I do not have a medical or a clinical license to tell somebody they have schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or they narcissistic. Now, what I can do is I can develop intuitive ways or innovative ways to extract data to then use best practices to expose the symptoms or the synonymous behaviors that show some of those behaviors or those diagnoses within your organization. And then we can develop a research-based implementation plan or intervention plan to adhere to that. But people have to say that. I believe she kind of just jumped off the porch and didn't like explain that into detail. And I kept trying to say this a lot of times when we were talking about this. I was like, it ain't adding up. And they was like, nah, she tell it like it is. She real. Like, I hear all that. But something ain't adding up because her language, her approach, it's not clinical. It's not clinical. It's more lived experience based, and it's not best practice based either. But that's my 2 cents on it, man. I think that this really did some. This really made the black community look bad in my opinion. She could have just came by and told her how it was. I mean, it might be a money scheme, and the simple fact that what's the man name? Lil Fizz have known her since they were young or whatever lets me know, man. This been a play from the get. This a stage name.
Well, no, I mean, she was a teenager. Keep in mind when she was in the B2K video, she was only probably a 13 or 14. But, I wanted to piggyback off of, you know, her in, her her conversation around broken homes. So, a broken home is a traditional term referring to a family structure where parents have divorced, separated, or deserted the home, leaving one parent to raise the children. Today, experts often prefer more neutral language like single parent family, divorced family, or blended family, as traditional term can carry unnecessary stigma. Psychological impact and perspectives. While the term historically implied that one parent family was inherently broken, damaging to the child development, not the adult. Modern psychology takes a more nuanced view. Conflict versus structure. Psychologists note that it is often toxic, prolonged parental conflict rather than actual divorce itself that negatively impacts the children. Positive outcomes. For some, family separation brings an end to a hostile environment, establishing more peaceful and functional dynamics for both parents and the children. So once again, she ain't lied to Cam Newton not one time. She told him what it was.
Look,
Now,
this is
she
the
could have used
thing.
a medical term if she wanted to, but he ain't. He's a N-word. I'm an American kind of N-word. He needs
But
to hear broken
but
home.
Shy, I'm not giving pushback on what she said because she's right. He has several displaced homes, just like I have displaced homes, right? And I think I think those who may listen to this or those who may know us personally may think, well, you may feel a type of way about her saying that, Lance. No, I think she's right, 100%. I mean, I think it's a conversation that we as black men, we don't talk about a lot as far as the consequences of us when we have these relationships and then we create children from them, but we don't stay in the relationship, but we still have to care for that child. That does psychologically impact that child, and that does psychologically impact
Mhm.
your children, period. For sure. My
Mhm.
whole grief of it was that it's the term in which she used because she used such a negative term. You don't know what type of headspace or type of mental space he is concerning that particular topic. That could have pushed him.
You sure they didn't have a debrief before they hit
Well,
record?
I don't know. I'm just speaking from what I know based off mental health practices. That's the only thing I can speak from. I don't know
Why are
what they
we
talked
why
about.
are we protecting grown men feelings though? That's what I
It's
saying.
it's not about protecting somebody's feelings. It's about safeguards being implemented in mental health practices.
Why do we need safeguards for grown men that need to be held accountable?
Because you don't want some. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say I have a
Because the
woman.
because
Well,
the
no,
broken home
hold on, hold on,
that she's
but hold
speaking of,
on,
he ain't even in no more. He in a whole new home.
but hold on. Let's use it. Let's not even use the displaced homes. Let's say I'm sitting in front of a woman who's been sexually abused. I'm saying I'm a psychologist and I do treatment plans and I can write medication and I do all these things, right? And I'm sitting in front of this woman and she's been sexually abused, right? Okay. Now we're having a conversation, we're having a debrief about unpacking some of her trauma or unpacking a topic where I'm trying to educate her on how to employ best practices or coping skills when she becomes triggered. And I start using derogatory terms that now make her feel unsafe. I start talking about
Mhm.
men. I start talking
Mhm.
about something being forced on you. No, you need to do this. No, this is what you did. Well, this is why this happened to you. That could trigger something to her where she goes and does something to herself. Now, this may be 10 years removed. She might have not been sexually abused 10, 20 years. It might be 20 years ago. But that experience alone has such a psychological, deep rooted impact that it may trigger her to go do something to herself or to somebody. So that's why we have safeguards in mental health. Because Cheyenne Bryant could have triggered something in Cam Newton to go do something. Which you say, oh, well, he got another home. Well, it did trigger him to do something. He made another one. So that could have been the trigger. We don't know because there hasn't been no we don't know if he speaks to a therapist. We don't know if he speaks to a clinician. But that could have triggered him to go do that.
She is a clinician.
She's a life coach, okay? And I respect that because she making money. You get it? And she helping
she
people
is
by her
a
own way.
clinician.
But she's
She
not
is a
no
therapist.
clinician. But that could have triggered something in him to respond in a negative way. What if he got up and would have slapped it out of her? We don't know. But I'm saying
Nah.
but I'm just saying that's why you have safeguards. You said why we have to have safeguards. That's why. Because
No,
you
but I'm
don't
saying
know
I'm sure it
how
was something
somebody may be
discussed prior.
treated.
She ain't just get on there and just no, there was something discussed prior too that he was comfortable with discussing.
I'm just saying that's why we have safeguards. I mean, it's not about protecting somebody's feelings. If she was saying
And then
Okay,
if
I'm
he
a
didn't want it
doctor.
on there, he could have cut it out.
We can make all the excuses we want. If she's saying she's Dr. Cheyney Bryant and I am a clinician, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, narcissistic behaviors, and all these different
She
things,
ever said that?
well, she's mentioned bipolar
I
disorder.
don't think she's ever said she's a clinician. I've never heard her say that.
She said psychology.
I've only heard her ever say that she gives advice and that she has learned experiences and so forth. I've never heard
No,
her say that she was
I've heard
diagnosing
her.
anyone.
Now I disagree. Now I gotta call it out. I
I
disagree.
never heard her say that.
I've heard her talking about writing treatment plans. I've heard her talking about
And for
billing as
medication,
well. How she gonna do it? How? She don't have a
your
license.
treatment plan don't have to be medication.
A treatment plan. If you write a treatment plan, you need to have a license.
Her treatment plan don't gotta involve medication.
It can't.
It could
Okay.
involve
Look,
yoga at
look,
5 a.m. I'm
look,
just telling you
look.
what she's doing.
No, no,
It
no, no,
could
no, 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 no,
involve
no, 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 no.
yoga at 5 a.m. It could involve a jog at 12 o'clock. It could involve
Yeah,
prayer at 6 o'clock.
that's what a life
Treatment plan
coach
don't
does.
necessarily mean it's exactly.
A
But
life
but if
coach
she's
does
calling
that.
it a treatment plan, that doesn't mean she's using medication.
You can't.
That never
She
once said she
cannot.
prescribed any medication.
Yes, she has.
She's
No,
never said that.
I've never said nothing about medication. So you're not listening. You're listening to respond. I'm saying you cannot write a treatment plan and bill for it. You cannot bill an insurance for a treatment plan and you don't have a clinical license.
You think she
That's what
billing
I'm
somebody
saying.
insurance or these people paying
No,
her?
she didn't. She
She
mentioned it in
ain't
the
billing
past.
nobody.
Man, we know that, but she mentioned it is what I'm
She's
saying.
getting money for on a mic talking about this stuff.
I-
And ain't nobody insurance been built.
what I'm saying is she talked about it. Is what I'm saying. She talked about it, man.
Ain't
So
nobody
what I'm
insurance
saying
been built.
is, if you're gonna operate like that, but she don't know these things. So speaking to anyone like that, how she spoke to Cam Newton on his podcast, she don't know that there's safeguards when it comes to providing treatment and providing that preventive education.
She don't care.
She ain't got it. She ain't no
As long as
psychologist.
they keep on paying her to come on the show and talk about it, she gonna keep doing it.
No, they gonna pay her for sure.
As
She's gonna
long
get
as they
paid.
keep on telling her to come in, come there, she gonna keep going.
They're gonna pay her for sure, and she should get paid because now she has this polarizing stage personality and polarizing stage presence where they will pay her, but she needs to drop the doctor.
No, she
That's what
don't.
I say. She needs to drop that. Anybody who out here is calling themselves doctor who does not have the earned credential, either be honorary or not, they need to drop it
No.
because getting a doctorate asterisk ain't for the weak. That is some hard. When you go through a doctoral process or anything such as that, and even these individuals who get medical degrees, man, it's like hazing, damn near. Like psychologically, you are being turn in something that they say do, then they turn back and say, "That ain't right," but I did what you said. And you go through some things that will take you to a psychological roller coaster.
Hey, now I got a question though. What legally can happen to her for saying she's a doctor?
Nothing.
No, she can be sued.
Sued by who?
Whoever she provided these quote unquote sessions with, unless she had them sign something that says she had to have them sign something. She had to have some type of documents that support her, or she will be sued. Yes.
So she can only be sued by the people that she gave
Yeah.
information to or suggestions to.
Yeah. What can happen is what happens if all those individuals create like a Facebook group, then they all jump in, right? Then they get into a law firm. Then that's a class action lawsuit against her. And if I'm not mistaken,
But
if
if
she
she's a life
has
coach, isn't that the same thing though? Like, can sue that means you'll be able to sue every life
no,
coach there is.
they would have to break it down. That's what they would actually go through her. They would actually go through the things that she was writing and providing them. Was she losing clinical terms? Was she using clinical interventions or misappropriating? Because that's what they'll say. They'll say this is impersonating a clinician, and which is illegal. I can't walk into a clinic and say, "Okay, let me check your blood pressure. Let me get my stethoscope and make sure that your cholesterol is good." I'm not a medical doctor. It was somebody can sue me for impersonating, and I could face criminal charges as well if enough people whistleblow. So that's what she's really at risk of. I don't think it's going to happen to her though, but that's what she is at risk of though for sure.
Okay.
There you go. Dr. Bryant.
The doctor girl, keep making your money. I don't personally listen to you unless you just come across my feed. But those that do listen to you and they like what you're giving, hey, I ain't got no problem with it.
Yeah, I like Dr. Bryant, man. think, no,
No,
she
you
kind
don't.
of,
No, you don't.
no,
No,
I
you don't.
disagree.
She thick as hell,
I
shit.
disagree.
No, you
I
don't.
like
You
her.
cannot stand her.
No,
You
don't
like her.
like.
You're
I
doing.
don't like her approach, Shy. I've
You
always
don't
said
like her. You don't like the fact that she calls the men out.
okay, but okay, so let's go ahead and address this because
You do not like the
I
way she
believe this
addressed.
is utter
You have not liked
BS.
her since she addressed Cam. When she checked Cam,
No,
everything she checked Cam Newton, you ain't like her.
no, I didn't like the way she approached how she
When
talked.
she checked Cam Black
That has
ass,
always
and
been
ever since then, you ain't like her.
But, let me jump in real
no.
quick.
I've always said her approach.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people that like watched her when she was on Basketball Wives didn't like her back then. The Cam Newton was slight. Go ahead, Zach.
But I think it's weird though, Lance, because you say you don't like her, but you was pressed that day. We had that first topic about the Bryant thing, how she
Yeah,
said it. Now,
yeah.
you
She
can't
was
say
mad.
but what I'm saying is this though. You was so pressed then, but now you was like, oh no, I agree with what she's saying. I just don't like how she said it.
No, like I've never said. So I think even people who listen to that particular segment, they'll say, "Oh man, I feel like you was triggered, or I feel like that, because your own situation, like you." I like, no, I think she's right. I just don't like her approach.
But it's
You
not.
don't have
It ain't
to.
got to be personal though.
So
You
if
don't.
she would have changed one word, you'd have been damn
I'd have
she's
been
right.
cool. Yeah. If she wouldn't have never, if she would have left out broken homes,
Mm.
because to me,
But it is a broken home.
100%, right? You think Cam Newton don't know it's a broken home?
So my question is this: how can you be mad about the word if we all know it's what it is? You're saying that oh, it could trigger him to do something else.
Yeah.
Understandable, it could. Any word could trigger somebody.
You're
Yeah,
100% correct.
he did not have a problem with it, or else he would have not allowed it to be on his podcast. He
I
could
Disagree.
mean,
have simply
I
easily edited it
disagree.
out.
I disagree though. I do think he
He
had a
allowed it to be on there.
I do think he had a problem with it
I
because
don't
if
think he
you
has a
paid
problem because
attention,
he don't believe he's doing nothing wrong. He
no,
doesn't
I
believe
don't
he's doing
know.
anything wrong.
I don't know
A
about that.
lot of men like him do not believe they are doing anything wrong.
I don't think that's
I
true,
think
Shay.
it's not just me. I think it's people. A lot of people
Yeah.
like them have these broken homes. There's a lot of men having multiple kids. A lot of
Yeah.
women having multiple damn baby daddies.
Yes.
It's a whole bunch of broken homes that we need to fix. I don't know why we keep having.
Yep.
So 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 my thing is I I do think he had a problem with it. He let it air because it's good time. That's good content. That's really good content. But I do think he had a problem with it because after she was on, his his approach to that, he went on like I think a 3, 4, maybe 5 binge of guests after her, kinda circumventing in a different way the same topic, but in different ways, because he was still trying to figure out a way to push back on what she said because I believe he was triggered by it. I ain't gonna cap.
I don't think
I
But
so.
mean,
but
most
but
people would be triggered if he
yeah,
told you
I
about your
think he
broken
was
home.
based off his body language, based off his mannerisms, and based off how he responded
Even if he
sometimes.
was triggered
I think he
by it,
was triggered.
well, who cares?
What okay, Shy.
That's so mean.
No, well, no, I can see I
Ooh.
get what Shy saying. Shy saying she don't care, but I'm saying Dr.
Who
Bryant,
cares? Who cares if he was triggered by it?
if she's saying she has a clinical degree, she's saying that she's a psychologist, she's saying that she's this individual.
I've never heard her say that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if she said that clinical stuff, but I do know she's called herself a doctor. And if you don't got a doctor, I guess you really can't call yourself a doctor, which I understand. It's not ethical to call yourself a doctor,
Yeah.
but who cares what ethical means sometimes?
Maybe it's me. I could be the issue with the issue of this conversation. It could be me because of the way I view and the way I'm passionate about mental health, anything surrounding behavioral health. Hence the reason why I got a doctoral degree in behavioral health in some facet. Because I'm so passionate behind it. So my thing is the safeguards are there for a reason. Even myself, when I'm speaking with CEOs or if I'm coming in to consult, like just the other day, I had a Zoom call with someone about wanting to take on consultant services from my company, how we can assist them with developing a mental health division and some mental health practices for what they need to do as far as how to best adhere to the population they want to serve. Well, when I approach the conversation, even in the planning process, I'm thinking about the safeguards because individual who is governing the organization is saying all these things that they would like to do. My automatic mind is going, okay, so what's the safeguards we're going to put in place to make sure we have what if they have maladaptive behaviors or reactive behaviors? And think, well, I didn't think about that. Oh, wow, that can happen. Yeah, that can happen. This can. my mind automatically goes to that. So when I hear someone who's saying, well, okay, well, I'm a psychologist. I do this every day. I do a counseling sessions or therapy sessions, and you automatically start using derogatory terms or derogatory jargon. My ears go up. My antennas start to raise. Like, okay, where are the safeguards at? Because what happens if this person attacks you or this person is triggered? We don't know what type of emotional trauma people go through. So that's what I'm saying. Even when I was talking the last time about that leadership thing, we was talking about the leadership and the people coming to the job with bats and things. You was like, well, no. I'm like, man, no, that can happen. You don't know what type of emotional state psychologically somebody's in. Because the one thing that we have to realize, we all come from different lived experiences, different lived traumas, different ways to handle conflict. And the one thing that doesn't turn off ever is our minds. Even when you're asleep, what's going? You're dreaming, you're thinking, your mind is still going. You don't know what someone's going through psychologically or internally. So if you don't operate in those safeguards, you putting yourself at risk, them at risk, and possibly other people. You don't know what could happen. So that's my thought process.
I don't think but that's my thing though. I don't think she's ever. I think you're mixing her up with an actual like a psychologist that does this kind of work.
She was claiming to be one.
Oh,
My
she was
problem. Yes, she was.
she was simply a
No,
person
no, no,
giving
no.
her
Hell
opinion
no,
and pointing the finger and
no.
saying
No,
that.
she
She's
wasn't.
never
No, she
said
wasn't.
that she was critical
No, she wasn't.
anything.
Yes, she did.
Well,
She used the
we
terms.
don't need the proof.
They got its own podcast. She's talking about bipolar disorder. She's talking about all these other mental health disorders that's in the DSM-5, which is a mental health book that has every
Yeah,
diagnosis in there.
but she's talking about it
No,
she's
she's
talking
talking
about
about it
it
from an
on an
aspect of
opinion base.
no, she's talking about it from an
No, she
aspect of
not.
okay, she was talking about it from an aspect of diagnosis.
Oh, talk, dog, dog. I don't know. I just feel like you're just like,
But like I
uh,
said, like I was saying, I agree with what she said. I agree with her message. I agree with what she's trying to expound on for the Black community as far as making us more aware of mental health issues and trauma and things of that nature. But I agree with it because it is such a spot on conversation. Hence the reason why, hell, I'm doing a whole presentation at a virtual conference on mental health. I'm an advocate for it. You just have to have the approach, man. It's all
mhm.
about the approach. You have to be careful in how you approach these things. It's so many different frameworks surrounding mental health and the psychological fortitude and capacity and threshold in which human centered behavior possesses. So you just have to think about the safeguards. That's all I'm saying. Hey, don't shoot the shooter or shoot the messenger or whatever. That's all I'm saying. I ain't she's doing what she think is best, but she need to drop the ad. She need to drop that doctor asterisk though. She ain't that because you misappropriating and you really diluting the practices surrounding mental health now. That is my opinion from a subject matter expert. I will say that.
Okay, Shy, you got any last
Okay, and
regards so
you're
we can kill this conversation forever?
and you have an EDD, correct?
Yes, EDD.
Okay, so you studied all of these things that you're claiming that she has said, which I don't think she's ever said. But okay, I got it.
You said I studied all these things that she said.
That you're claiming she said, which I've
No, I
never
didn't
heard her
study
say.
all these. I haven't studied all those things. I mean,
I've never heard her even say anything that you said.
I've heard them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've heard them. I just ain't never. That's
I
why I've
don't think you
always
like
took.
this woman.
No, I don't
You're
have a
a
problem with
fat-ass
Dr.
woman,
I don't have a
right?
problem. I
Hold
really
on,
don't have
hold
a
on, hold on,
problem with
hold
Fat-ass
on.
Dr.
woman.
Bryant. I really don't have a
What
problem with this woman. I promise you.
we gonna end this forever right here. What are you saying she said so we can look it up real quick? Let's do a quick internet search and make sure we get this out the way.
We don't got to.
No, I mean, she said it. You can use Chat GPT as a tool for quick references. So ask Chat GPT, hey, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, has she ever used the terms bipolar disorder or any diagnosis in the DSM-5 as reference of diagnoses in podcasts or literature?
You know I can type that, so I can't type that.
It'll tell you. It'll search the web.
Okay, okay.
But and that's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying I studied all these things. Have I taken some PsyD courses? For sure. Because mine is organizational leadership with an emphasis of behavior health or concentration, which means can come in from an organizational aspect to assist with behavior diagnostic or implementation for assistance, which you don't need really a clinical degree for that. You just need to be somewhat of a subject matter expert around in the area. So around the subject or whatever it may be that you want to focus on. Mine is psychological equity, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know. you keep saying you don't like this woman. No, I don't got no problem with that with Miss Cheyenne Bryant. No problem at all.
Now, the question was, has she ever talked about mental health disorder or mental disorder in a clinical matter?
Clinical
And she was
matter.
diagnosed.
I'm just gonna show you what I put up, and I'm gonna tell you what they gave. So I asked the question, has Dr. Cheyenne Bryant ever talked about mental disorder in a clinical matter?
Yeah, what it say?
Yes. Assuming you mean Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, she has publicly disclosed mental disorders in clinical mental health context.
I rest my case.
For example, in the
I don't know.
BIE
We just
magazine
believe
interview,
checks.
she described past work as a marriage, family, and child therapist and says she had treated and diagnosed people with conditions including depression, anxiety,
Which she
adjustment
cannot
disorder,
do.
all well, she does have a
No,
bachelor's and a master's in.
but you gotta have your license, man. Your degree is okay. So this how it works for
So you think
anybody
she
who gonna
didn't
be.
have a license when she got her
No,
degrees
she
in?
didn't pass the test.
Oh,
No, that's why she did the life coach. That's what most people do, or most individuals do when they don't pass that clinical test. Because that clinical test hard. I know people who are awesome. I mean, awesome therapists, awesome counselors, awesome psych individuals who provide clinical therapy. They had to take their test like 2 or 3 times. That test is hard, man. It's so if they don't pass it, I know individuals who, man, I'm a life coach, man. I couldn't pass that test. So I took the easy way out and I just became a life coach, which is okay. It's like you're like, yeah, 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 bro, but I can't, man, that test hard, dog. Like I know people who done it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I get why she took the life coach route, which ain't a bad thing. But just just don't be out here saying that you treating and diagnosing people because you can't. It's only a few people in medical practice or mental health practice that can diagnose. Only a few.
I hear you. I hear you. I get what you're saying in the doctor aspect. Like if you work hard to be a doctor, you don't want nobody imitating you being a doctor. Put the
Man, my
work in like
thing,
everybody else is.
it ain't even that. My thing is just, if we about to close, shop, we about to close, we about to close that. My thing is just,
He said nothing. I've been quiet
no,
for the
no,
last couple minutes.
no, I said I'm about to close. That's all. 'Cause I know this probably just sound like this a lot of fluff now. So I'm about to close. But my thing is that it just makes the black community look bad because although it's probably others nationalities who do some of the same similar things like such as this for sure, but it's not being publicized the way she's getting put on the media like that, which makes us once
But
again
who's putting it on the
like,
media?
I mean,
people
technically we
all
all are.
yeah we all are including us right now. But my thing is just makes
And
a
we've
black
done it
culture.
multiple times. I'm getting sick and tired of Cheyenne Bryant. We just start
Oh,
paying her
she ain't
money,
co
god dang
oh,
it.
oh, she ain't coming up no more cause the point the cause what
Dr.
I
Brian, Dr. Brian, girl.
Miss Bryant, Miss Cheyenne Bryant,
Dr.
uh, she
Brian.
because what I thought actually was what it was, but I just wish it didn't come out like this. I wish she woulda said it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, this has been another great episode of Gemstone Podcast. Shout out to Dr. Brian. Like I said, I do not listen to her content on a regular basis, but I do like when she pops up on my page. I get to check out some of the things she says. I don't feel like she has to prove. Honestly, I really wish she would have not even gave life legs to the situation. When they did start asking you about your credentials, I wish you would have just said what you said the other day when you kind of got a grip with it. I mean, I don't feel like you have to prove to anyone anything. It's a lot of people out here calling themselves doctors and they're not doctors. And we've done this for many years. Why is it now that a black woman that's getting notoriety has to prove and point and prove that she's this and that she's not? So, girl, thank you guys for listening to Gemstone Podcast. You can find us on all social media platforms, all podcast platforms. Stay tuned, y'all. We got more heat coming for y'all. And y'all have a good evening.